In this video, we will discuss about the various incentives, that is financial and non-financial incentives. That is part of the motivation, because earlier we have discussed in the previous video regarding motivation, and in order to motivate, the things which are provided in order to motivate a person to perform their work efficiently and effectively is known as incentive. The things or the measures which are adopted in order to motivate a person so that they perform their work efficiently and effectively is known as incentive. Now these incentives are of two types, that is financial and non-financial. These incentives are of two types, that is financial and non-financial. The name itself signifies financial incentives are those incentives which can be measured in terms of money. Financial incentives are those incentives which can be measured in terms of money, and non-financial incentives are those which cannot be measured in terms of money. Non-financial are those which cannot be measured in terms of money. First of all, we will discuss about the financial incentives. Thereafter, we will discuss about non-financial incentives. First, the very basic, the financial incentive which every employee or every worker gets is the pay or allowance. You can say pay and allowances. This is the very basic incentive, that is the basic salary. For example, the pay. In order the employees what they are paid, employees are paid the basic salary, DNS allowance, traveling allowance, and various allowances are paid to the employees. This comes under pay and allowances. Means the pay, the basic salary, the DNS allowance, traveling allowance, and various allowances are given. These are known as pay and salary, and these are, you can say, pay or allowances, and these are one of the, you can say, basic measures which are adopted, you can say, for in order to motivate the employees, because unless and until you pay the employees the salary, the traveling allowance, DNS allowance, all these things you pay, the employees will not be working in the organization and with motivation. Next is the financial incentive is the similar to this pay and allowance itself is the, sometimes this is linked to be productivity linked. It is known as productivity linked wages. Productivity linked wages, these are generally wages which are paid to worker in a factory, the laborers in a factory. Generally you can say productivity linked wages, means the wages will be based on the production, means more unit is produced by an individual or by a worker, more he will be paid. The worker who produce lesser number of units will be paid lesser. So it is generally this method of, you can say, incentive is used in order to, you can say, to pay more the worker who are more efficient in doing the work, and lesser wages to those who are less efficient in doing the work. So this is productivity link, means it will be based on the production, means more production means more wages, less production means less wages. This is known as productivity linked wages. Next is bonus. You can say bonus is the, you can say, beside the pay, DNS allowance, and you can say traveling allowance, various allowances, if something extra is given beside the salary, beside the DNS allowance or traveling allowance, if something over and above is given beside this, then it is known as bonus. This is also an incentive which motivates a person to work hard or to work more efficiently and effectively. So bonus is actually the extra over and above the salary what is paid, the normal salary or the monthly salary which is paid. If sometime due to some festival season or some other, you can say, reason, if the company pays something over and extra the salary, then it is called as bonus. Next is stock option, or it is also known as co-partnership. Co-partnership. Stock option or co-partnership. Partners are those, as we know, partners are those who are owner of a partnership business. Partners are those who are owner of a partnership business. This stock option or partnership it is known as. Means this is also a form of incentive, that is you can say monetary incentive, wherein the employees or the worker, they are given shares at a price which is less than the market price. In order that they become owner of the company, they will be given shares or moreover at a less than market price. In this way they will become owner of the business, that is they will become a partner of the business. Means actually they will become a member or shareholder of the business. So that is why it is known as co-partnership. Means they get a chance to become partner, or you can say owner of the business, and they will be given shares of the company at less than the market price. This is known as stock option or co-partnership, wherein the employees or the worker will be given shares at less than the market price, so that when they purchase the shares at less than the market price, they will consider themselves as owner or shareholder of the company. And by becoming owner or shareholder of the company, they will think that it is my own business, my own company. So when they feel that it is my own business or own company, so they will put their best effort, means they will be working more diligently, more effectively and efficiently they will be working. So there is this incentive is given so that they work more efficiently and effectively. Next is retirement benefit also is given to the workers. Retirement benefits. As we know, there are various retirement benefits in the form of, you can say, pensions are there, then provident fund is provided also, provident fund, gratuity is there. These are the various benefits, retirement benefits which are given to the employees. Although they will get these benefits after retirement, but since these will be given to the employees after retirement, it acts as a, since these can be measured in terms of money, and although they will be getting after retirement, but it will affect the performance of the employees. They will be working more effectively so that they remain in the company and they earn. And after retirement, they earn this pension, they will get more provident fund if they remain in the company, they will get more gratuity if they work for longer time in the company. In this way, it is also one of the incentive, that is financial incentive, in the form of this, since these benefits are derived only after retirement, that is why it is known as retirement benefit. The pension after retirement people get, the provident fund generally people get after retirement, but if necessary, some amount can be withdrawn from the provident fund also. Again, gratuity after retirement, generally people get all this money they will be getting after retirement. So these are the various financial incentives. Now we will come into non-financial incentive. Non-financial incentive. The non-financial incentives are, you can say, in generally provided. These financial incentives are generally satisfy the need of the lower level, you can say, worker or the worker level, means in the managerial position is not, you can say, included, although it is, but basically financial incentives are, you can say, used for motivation of the employees at the lower level or the workers actually. And non-financial incentives are more important for, you can say, those who are at a higher level or the managerial level. Although this financial incentive is actually effective for both lower level as well as the higher level, but it is more effective for lower level. Again, this non-financial incentive, it is also effective for both lower level, the workers as well as the manager, but it is more effective for manager. It is more non-financial incentive, if incentive will be more effective for manager. Let us discuss one by one the financial, non-financial incentives. First is, you can say, the status. The status, everybody wants that their status in the society, in the company should be higher. Everybody, every worker, every manager, they want that my status should be high. How this status can be raised? By providing what? Some extra autonomy should be given, more authority, responsibility can be given, freedom to take decision can be given. In this way, the status of the company, the status of the worker in the company will increase. Also, it is possible that in order to increase the status, a separate cabin or separate room or special furniture or office for the separate office with AC should be provided, so that the status of the employee who has been provided separate cabin or with AC, he feels that my status is somewhat higher in the company, and it will affect or motivate the employees to work better. Now, that is career advancement opportunities. Career advancement opportunity. Everybody wants that they should advance, they should rise higher, they should be promoted to higher level. So for every employee, in order that, since every employee expect that there should be some advancement, so managers in a company should focus on the career of the employees, and they should, you can say, provide some skill, training, knowledge, so that they get more opportunities for growth in the organization. If some steps are taken within the company, so that the workers in the company, they get a chance to rise higher in the, you can say, management hierarchy, for them some career opportunities should be designed in the company, and some you can say training or skill development programs should be carried out in the company, so that the worker can rise higher in the company, and it will act as a motivation for the worker, and they will try to put their best effort. Next is job enrichment. Job enrichment. How to enrich it? To make the job more interesting. Job enrichment is done by, you can say, when the job or the work which is being done by the worker, or the job which is given to the worker, there should be variety of work should be there. Variety of work should be there. So the work will not become monotonous. If the work is not monotonous, or if the same work is being done again and again by the worker, then the employees of the worker become monotonous. So in order that they do not become monotonous, a variety of jobs should be included, or variety of work or activities should be included in the job, whatever job is being given to the, you can say, worker. A variety of jobs should be there, so that they can, you can say, they do not become monotonous, and they feel their importance in the organization more, because they are getting variety of job or variety of work to do in the organization. Now, again, this is job security, you can say, although it is related with somewhat the financial incentive also. This job security is related somewhat with the financial incentive also, but it is part of the non-financial incentive. Job security in the sense that every employee in the organization want that his job or work should be secure, means he should not be kicked out of the company. He should feel that my job is secure, I will not be kicked out of the company anytime. So if it is provided that security of the job is there, it acts as a motivation for the employee to put their best effort, because if job is secure, he will try to be more honest toward the company. But if always there is a feeling of insecurity that I will be kicked out of the company anytime, so he will always thinking about his work, that I should be searching some other job, because I may be kicked out anytime from the company. So he will not be put his best effort toward the organization. He will be thinking something other about other companies, or trying to be, you can say, focusing in some other companies also, and he will not put his best effort for in the existing organization. So job security act as a non-financial incentive and act as an important motivation. Next is employee empowerment. Employee empowerment. Employee empowerment means the employee should be made more powerful. Employee should be made powerful. How? This powerful will be by giving some more authority, responsibility. If the employees are given more authority and responsibility to do the work, then they will be feeling that they are more empowered. And in this way, it will act as a motivation. It is a non-financial incentive, and it acts as a motivator because if he is given more authority and responsibility to do the job, he will be feeling more powerful, and in this way, he will be feeling, you can say, somewhat it is related with status also. It is related with somewhat status also, where he will be thinking my status is also increasing, and it acts as a motivator also. If employees is given more power, means more authority and responsibility to do the job. Next is, you can say, employee participation. Employee participation. Employee participation, the participation of the employees in the decision making. Here it is referred to the participation of the employees in the decision making process. Means the employees should be participating. Means their views should be taken by taking important decisions in the organization. In this way, the employees will be feeling, you can say, motivated, because they will be thinking that we are some important people in the organization, because that is why our participation, our, you can say, views are taken for deciding the future of the company. So employees should be taken, you can say, participated in the decision making process. It also acts as an important source of motivation for the employees, and it is part of the non-financial incentive. This is all about financial and non-financial incentive, and next we will discuss about the next, you can say, element of directing, that is leadership.